What's going on? Good Thursday to you, good people. Good Thursday to you, good people. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Marcus Thomas. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. And we got a lot of stuff going on. Never a time to rest. I'm trying. My plan tonight was to get into March Madness and some basketball, some college hoops. And the NFL was like, hold my beer. So it is incredible what's been going on with these free agency moves. I mean, like I talked about last week, the Eagles, the NFL free agency, and what was going on with the Sixers was kind of jockeying for position. And even with everything that happened after the Sixers game, the Eagles are still holding the limelight with all of these free agent moves. It's crazy. Every day something happening. Every day it's Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Amari Cooper. You got all of these people. I'm going down, got my equipment ready today, got my iPad right here. We got Allen Robinson, Baker Mayfield. Who else? The Darius is not signing with the Ravens. Of course, the Fletcher Cox situation. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. We can get right into it right now with Fletcher Cox. That's the breaking news of the day. That was huge. Some people saw that coming though, because Fletcher Cox has got a big contract, and I thought that they were going to renegotiate his contract if he wanted to. He's got a lot of value still because he's got some gas, a lot of gas in the tank. But just like what's going on in the real world, that gas is expensive. So they let him go for the, what do they call it? The post June 1st. And it gets into all of the dead money and all that kind of stuff. I had to look that up about the dead money because I wasn't sure. You hear that concept a lot, but I wasn't quite sure on dead money. Jason Bennett, what up, fam? What's good? But basically what that means is, so like Fletcher Cox has got his contract and whatever guaranteed money he is owed. So you hear all these, everything about when these guys sign these big contracts and they get the guaranteed money. Basically, they're getting that money for literally signing their name on the dotted line. That's the signing bonus, guaranteed money. So if, let's say you got a $50 million contract, and you got 25 guaranteed. So that means you get 25 million just for signing your name. But how they divvy out that money can change. They can say, okay, 25 million is guaranteed, but we're going to give you 5 million for the next 5 years. So you got 5 million guaranteed for the next 5 years. But what happens if you get cut the second year of that 5-year contract? Then you're still owed. They paid you 5 million. Now you're up to 10 million. They still owe you 15 million. So that's 15 million in dead money. That's the way I understand it. Somebody else can explain it better in the chat. I would appreciate it. But they get that dead cap money plus incentives and all of that kind of stuff that he's owed if he were on the team, and he's not. So that money is under limbo. And because they're doing the post-1 deal, most likely whoever picks him up, and I think he will most likely get picked up, they can renegotiate how they're gonna, because whoever picks him up can take on that dead money. So we'll see. But it's a woof. Every day has been something, man. Every day has been something. I would like to see Fletcher Cox stay. I don't necessarily think that he's done. In my opinion, I think his lack of performance has a little bit more to do with the scheme and Gannon and all that kind of stuff. That's just my opinion. But he's got some gas left in the tank for real. And you already saw that Zach Ertz was like, yo, come on down to the desert, bro. So he's petitioning for Cox to go down to Arizona. So we'll see what happens with that. He's going to get some interest. And most likely, he'll probably get paid. The Eagles are in a win-win situation because if he doesn't come back, somebody's going to sign him, and they'll probably pick up that cap money and take it off of our hands, which is good for us. Then we've got more money for draft picks and free agents. We're going to get into the Hassan Redich. That was a great pickup. But more free agents like that. Hassan Redich was what? $45 million deal, 3 years, $15 million a year. That's not cheap. That's not crazy expensive, but that is not cheap. His performance will dictate whether or not it was worth it. I think it was worth it. He's still a great player. He's only 27 years old. He's in his prime. Bobby Wagner to the Rams. Are you serious? Man, it keeps coming. Keeps coming. Keeps coming. Keeps coming. I got the NFL channel on my iPad here. So you saw what happened in Dallas. Lael Collins, they not re-signed him. He had issues, though. He had injury issues. I forgot he had the drug issues a few years ago. But still, everybody's dumping big names. You see what's going on in Cleveland, and it's all kind of stuff, man. All kind of stuff. So let me see. Let me see what my notes say. Cost-cutting move. The Eagles have released Fletcher Cox as a designated post-June 1st cut. That means the reason for the release's timing is due to the fact that at 4 p.m., he would have been due $18 million of the compensation he was owed. Nearly the entire amount would have been fully guaranteed. Cutting him creates over $12 million in dead money while creating $2 million in cap space. And like I said, the dead money can be picked up if he gets signed or something like that. Or if he doesn't get signed, we would renegotiate that to make it more beneficial for the Eagles. So this is where the Wizard of Philadelphia, Howie Roseman, does what he does best. So we're in a win-win situation. I wouldn't mind seeing him stay, especially at a lower price. As a fan of the Eagles, as a former player, I want to see him get all the money he can get. So if it's in Arizona or somewhere else, God bless you, man. Do your thing. Cash them checks. I am not mad at you. Let me see. Eagles saved 2 point. Yep, by cutting Cox. If I'm Cox, I'm gone. I just lost $18 million. Yeah. That's the business. That's the business. You can go. I know everybody's got doing these podcasts now, former players and stuff like that. And I've watched a couple of them where they were talking about what these teams will do when it comes to incentive deals and stuff like that, how they will take you out of the lineup just so they can save that money. If you're supposed to play 70% of the plays to get a $5 million bonus, and then they keep you out of the fourth quarter of your last game, and now your percentage is only 68.2. You didn't make 70%, so they keep that money. They do things like that, man. It's still a business, and it's still cutthroat, and they will do everything they can to save that money. So, but we'll see. Let me see. I believe Howie has his eyes on the plan and is sticking to it. It's got to be big, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know about a big plan. He got a plan, though. I know everybody was all on the secretly we're going after the Deshaun Watson rumor was going around, and there was no, at least in my opinion, there was no indication, and I'm sure they were, kicking some tires and making some calls, but I'd never heard Deshaun Watson say he was not going to play for Philly. But I never heard Philadelphia's name in the mix. So I know there was a thing coming out that he said he would not waive a no trade clause for Philadelphia. I never saw that. Everybody had rumors that he said that. Even on the network, the network head said the same thing. I never saw it. I'm like, okay, who said it? Because he could, just like he said, I'm looking at Cleveland, I'm looking at the Saints and Denver and whatever the situation was, I never saw it. Charles, what's up, dude? Good to see you, brother. Glad you're in the chat, man. So I don't know what the Eagles may have or may have not done in regards to Deshaun Watson. Would I have liked to see Deshaun Watson, even as a pro Hurts fan? I do want to see Hurts behind the center next year. You can't deny what Deshaun Watson is. So I think seeing what happened in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield, it's a little bit different because Baker Mayfield's been in the league a couple years now. So he's taken his licks. And in my opinion, right now, he is what he is. You saw what happened the last couple years. You saw what happened with Odell Beckham. Had that all panned out. And it's like, okay, maybe Odell wasn't lying. So it's interesting. And now that you just saw the thing that said Deshaun Watson, I just saw a report that said Deshaun Watson is out on the Cleveland sweepstakes. Cleveland Browns were informed today, that they are no longer in the running to land Deshaun Watson in a trade with the Houston Texans. A team source told ESPN. Again, sources. Browns officials met with Watson on Tuesday in Houston and attempted to persuade the quarterback to waive his no-trade clause to play for them. But Watson eliminated the Browns from contention, leaving the New Orleans Saints, the Panthers, and the Falcons as the remaining contenders for the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. What's up, Frank? So, do you think Lee, do you think Howie is moving to get the D tackle from Georgia? I would love to see Jordan Davis in Eagle Green. I would love to see that motor here. If not for nothing else, that is the exact type of player I want to see Brandon Graham get a hold of. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see a young kid like that with that type of motor, that type of talent, play under Brandon Graham. So when it's time for Brandon Graham to step away in 1 or 2 years, you got somebody he done fed all of that knowledge into. You got somebody he can mentor and take him to the next level. That's what I want to see. We got the perfect situation. They're getting rid of Barnett. Barnett's not coming back, so you got rid of that headache. I never really heard anything bad about Barnett in the locker room, so I just know he made a bunch of mental mistakes on the field that cost us in a lot of situations. So a lot of people were interested in kind of getting away from that, but I would like to see Brandon Graham mentor somebody like Jordan Davis. That would be outstanding. And the Hassan Redich situation. That's another veteran from home. Somebody from right here in the South Jersey area. That's a perfect situation. So if we can get that big boy in Eagle Green, if Howie can make that happen, that would be outstanding. In my estimation, Howie's going to draft. He's going to use 2 of those top draft picks. And he's going to trade one away. Hopefully he'll trade one away to get like another later first rounder and maybe something in the second or third round or something like that. Excuse me. Or maybe he'll trade one of those picks and get like 5 draft picks, in rounds 3, 4, and 5. I can see that happening. I would be okay with that. But that's 50-50 because that all comes back to, okay, Howie, now you did what you do best. You did the wheeling and dealing. Now we had a situation where the stuff you struggle with, the picks that you make. Now we got to worry about the picks that you make. What's going to happen? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Remember they drafted the DT last year in the early rounds as well? Yeah. Well, last year we didn't have Jordan Davis running a 4.7 at the combines, 4.8 at the combines, at 300-something pounds. I don't care what we did last year. If you have an opportunity to get that in my estimation, if he's available when we are picking, That is the DK Metcalf situation all over again. You cannot make that same mistake twice. If we have one of those characters up, if we have one of those guys up available for us to draft them, and we whiff on them, they need to rip up that 3-year extension for Howie right now, because you can't make that mistake twice. The kid's gonna be a player. You know he's gonna be a player. So you gotta, if we can make that pick, you gotta make that pick. Period. You gotta make that pick. Let someone else do the picking. Who else gonna do the picking, Joe? Who else is gonna do the picking? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. What up, Derry? Does Cox have impact football left? In my opinion, he does. In my opinion, he does. I think right now, at this stage in his career, Cox is one of them dudes where he'll do it if he really wants to. He can turn it on. He can't turn it on. He can't turn it on as much as he used to, and he needs a little bit more help. But he can still cause some problems. He can still make it a problem where you need to double team him. And the minute you double team him, somebody's coming free. Fletcher Cox would be awesome for Hassan Redich. If Hassan Redich is coming off the edge, Fletcher Cox is somebody you want in the middle, because you still have to pay attention to him. So I still think he has some football left in him. He's still got a lot of gas in the tank. Well, he just at least a half a tank. He gonna make it home. So we'll see. But Joe, back to your question, man. Who else would you want to make the picks? You don't necessarily want Lurie making picks. You really don't want an owner making picks. Owner doesn't scout. An owner doesn't see everything. An owner owns. So don't nobody want that Jerry Jones issue. It's one thing to be in tune with your scouts and stuff like that, but when you're trying to do everything and make the picks, and that's why, the Cowboys, they made some good picks, but sometimes it comes a time where you got to be hands off. You got to be hands off. So it's almost like I use this example, being a graphic designer. If you're doing a project for somebody, I know how to draw. I know how to work the computers. I know that's what the customer wants, but you try to give them what they want. But it's like, let me do what I do best. This is what you're paying me to do. Let me do it. And when you get those owners that want to get in and get their hands into everything, they end up mucking it up because they're not out there doing the work. That's like the person back in high school when you had to do that group book report. And then you got the one person that's going to give the presentation. Everybody does the work, and then the one person does the presentation. Usually the guy that does the presentation does the least amount of work. He's just reading. He doesn't know everything. He doesn't know Jeffrey Lurie didn't go to SEC games. He didn't see people in person. And I would wager that he's really not watching too much tape. He's leaning on the people that he hired to do. And who is this guy? You think he's good? Okay, we'll go with that. So, we gotta get these draft picks right. We got to get these draft picks right. I think just like anybody else, just like any player that's in the last year of that deal, even though Howie just got a 3-year extension, I think Howie Roseman is on the hot seat. Because he's got to, if he doesn't connect with these picks coming up, he's going to be on the hot seat. I think the Eagles are in a good spot right now with the situation with Jalen Hurts. We don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to blow up like Josh Allen did. We don't know. Most people will say there's no way that can happen. You never know until it happens. Because, and I've challenged people that are watching before, go back and look at Josh Allen's, pull some clips, pull the receipts from the media coverage of Buffalo, Josh Allen's first and second year, and look at the gripes, what he couldn't do, and this inaccuracies, and couldn't see the field, and he had a strong arm, but he couldn't throw. He couldn't hit the wide open receivers, like stuff like that. It's the same stuff. The only reason that, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts gets such a bad rap with the same criticisms is because you got more people that just, they don't want him. You got more people that just don't want him. They want to see a stereotypical, they want that 6'4" guy from USC or whatever. They want that golden arm, and they want all of the measurables. And it's like, you got to get out there and find somebody that can play, period. And you look at Trevor Lawrence, you look at, and I keep saying this, if Trevor Lawrence would have had statistically the numbers that Jalen Hurts had, I think Trevor Lawrence would have been voted into the Pro Bowl easily. He'd have been all world. He'd have been the next coming. He would have been all everything. Just because he's got the look, he's got that quarterback look that everybody wants. But he was horrible down there. Now, half of that may have been on Urban Meyer, but it is what it is. You gotta play the hand that you've been dealt. So I'm sure, as bad as Urban Meyer wasn't telling them to throw in all them picks. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Miami this year with a better head coach. So we'll see what happens. I want to see Jalen, and I keep saying this, I expect Jalen to be much better going into the second year of the same offense. That makes a difference. Doesn't have to learn a new system now. So we'll see what happens. I expect that from him. And I was saying it's a good thing with the Eagles are in a good place with Jalen Hurts, because if Jalen Hurts has the same performance throwing the ball that he did last year, then we know without a shadow of a doubt what we're doing in the draft next year. The quarterback class will be better, and you already know how he's going to be looking for a quarterback. We'll be right back to square one with a quarterback. And I'm good with that. And the good thing, Jalen seems to me the type of player that can handle that type of adversity, because his dad was a coach. If your dad has been a coach, then don't nobody get on your case like your dad does and coach you the right way. They don't, I'm sure there's some out there, most dads that coach their kids, they give their kids the business, because you don't want nobody thinking you giving your kids something for free. So they go extra in on their kids. And I'm saying that because Jalen, the situation that Baker Mayfield is in, Jalen will handle that a lot better. So if he knows, Jalen knows, look, I got to show improve. So I expect improvement from Jalen Hurts, because he's the kind of kid like, hey, I got to put up or shut up, or this is going to be, college all over again. And he don't want that to happen. And he knows how to apply himself. He's got the work ethic. He's got everything to do. I'm just hoping that it clicks for him this year coming. It's got to click. We have to see a marked better improvement for that. So we'll see what happens. So yes, Jalen Hurts is on the clock. And all he has to do is be adequate at passing. We can't have no more, 150 and 200 yard games. We got to be 200 plus yards per game consistently throughout the year. That's what we need. He can still run and do all of that kind of stuff, but he's got to be able to put them together a lot better. So it's on him. It's on him. or he's going to be in this situation. He's going to be in this situation again. So right now, Baker Mayfield is in nowhere land. He's in no man's land right now. So if you're a teammate and he trying to get out of Dodge, when he comes back in that locker room, that's his problem now. When he comes back in that locker room, how's everybody going to be looking at him because he tried to bail? If I was Cleveland, I'd be going after Deshaun Watson. So he's like, well, clearly we headed in two different directions. Where's he going to go? Indy? Does Indy want to sign him? If Indy's going to sign Baker Mayfield, they should have kept Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz is a much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield is. So I think he's putting too much stock on the ability that he hasn't proven. He's not consistent. Everything that OBJ was saying was true. He was missing open receivers for whatever reason. And when you have reasons with your best receiver, and then that receiver leaves and has success somewhere else, well then it ain't issues, it's you. So he paints himself in a corner. Because now, if they keep him and he don't light him up in 22, he's done. They're going to shop him anyway. And he's already decreased his value because now other teams that might be likely to sign him probably are not going to sign him. So he's put himself in a little bit of a bind. So Hargreaves was all pro with 7.5 sacks. Yes, he was. Our defensive line is getting. If we get Jordan Davis, I would love to see that. Love it. Mitch Trubisky went to not Buffalo. He's going to where's he going? Steelers. Duh. He's going with the Steelers. I think Pittsburgh wanted somebody else. But you know what? Mitch Trubisky's a pretty decent running quarterback. He's the same style as Josh Allen. He's not as fast as Josh Allen, I don't think, but I think he's a decent runner. I think he's better than most people give him credit for. So we'll see what happens. That's a good pickup for the Steelers. They need a stopgap. So again, they're like, he's going to get them some wins. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in the yellow and black. So we help Hurts by protecting him and getting him more weapons on the outside. Yes, but that wasn't Jalen Hurts' issue, Tori, and that was Jalen Hurts' issue is he had just your typical young quarterback problems. The one problem every young quarterback without fail has when they come in the league is anticipation. When you are in college, you throw to the open man. When you are in the NFL, you have to throw to the man who is about to be open. If you wait till he's open, that's too late. You're going to either throw a pick or it's going to get knocked down. So that is the one thing that every young quarterback struggles. Everybody struggles with without fail. Without fail. So he's got to get over that. And me as a pro Hurts guy, he missed way too many open receivers. Period. That's what he's got to get better at. He's got to get better at his anticipation. His anticipation will, just by knowing who's going to be open before they're open, that's going to improve his accuracy. on where he goes with the ball. So that's once the anticipation thing goes up, his accuracy is going to go up. I don't worry about the long ball, but he's got to be able to see the open receiver. It's that simple. I think we could help him out. The Eagles could help him out running an offense kind of like how they did it with Donovan. Donovan could run, but Donovan liked to drop back. And I don't understand why they don't keep him under quarterback. I'm sorry, under the center. More. Let him drop back and do a 7-step drop. Stop rolling them out and cutting off half the field. Let him drop back and scan the field. I was sad to see that we're not going to re-sign Boston Scott because I really think our offense needs a screen game, a solid screen game. Go back, hit the YouTubes, and look up what the Eagles used to do under Andy Reid. Look at those screens that we used to call. He's still doing the same stuff out in KC. He got the players to do it. We had the players to do it. I think Boston Scott was perfect. Stillwell was perfect. But we just didn't have that screen game like that. We throwing them stupid outside screens to wide receivers. And everybody named Mama know what's coming. And it seemed to me like every time we would get in the bind and our offense stuttered, Sirianni would always go to those wide receiver screens where Jalen just takes a snap, throws it to the X or the Z receiver all the way outside. And it was like everybody knew that stuff was coming and we wouldn't, like, I hated it. That would immediately, I would always think like we're running out of options. They don't know what to do with the offense. And that's what it seemed like. And we had no inside screens. We had no tight end screens. And you go back and look at what Andy used to do. And it's like, hey, this is a copycat league. You ain't got to do everything he does, but you got to take some of the good stuff that we had. Everybody else is doing it. Take it and use it to the players that we got. And I ain't see that last year. So we'll see. Mr. Speed says Hurts is a backup. You might not be wrong, but he's going to be our starter next year. So hopefully he will improve his game where that is not the case, or at least improve his trade value. So people will say, hey, okay, he was looking a little suspect that second year, but his third year, all right, now I'm seeing some things. So David Cook says he don't want no parts of Baker. I agree 100%. 100%, dude. I don't want to see Baker here either. So let me see. Better quarterbacks in the next draft. Rattler, Slovis, Jerkovich, Pickett, Howe, even Williston, those dudes next year. Hopefully, Jalen Ball. You know what? That's a good point, dude. That's a good point. Rattler is the dude that transferred. He's transferring to SC, I believe. That was the dude that was getting all that pub for Oklahoma. Was it Oklahoma or Alabama? He was the kid that was on the reality show. So Devontae Adams to the, oh my gosh, are you serious? Hold on. Hold. Stop the presses. Let me see. I didn't see that. And I'm on the ESPN site right now looking. So, yeah, Rattler was at Oklahoma, and he was the man. You know, hey, you got to be careful, man. When these kids come out of high school and you treat them like all world, and they ain't played against nobody. And that young kid came in and shut Rattler down, and now he transferring. Bobby Stevens, good point, bro. Valid point. Going back to Hurts, Tampa playoff game, Hurts left 21 points on the field, missing open wide receivers. Absolutely. and that audio footage of Tampa Bay saying, yeah, he can't read defenses. That didn't help the situation. I thought that was harsh. But hey, if you got to do a better job reading the defense. That's why I like Jalen Hurts, because he's that kind of kid that can take that type of criticism and say, okay, I got to do what I got to do so that won't happen again. And if he doesn't, again, he's the type of player that will say, I didn't get it done, so I understand why they're doing it. He ain't going to like it. But he seems to me to be the type of player that will understand the reality of the situation that he's in and can say, honestly, I wasn't playing up to my potential, or I wasn't doing what I needed to do, so they had to do what they. He's somebody that can understand that, as opposed to the stuff that we dealt with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz couldn't understand, why he got benched and all. Me personally, I didn't think he should have gotten benched, but the way he handled it was no bueno, man. And you see, he ain't been the same since. Devontae Adams to the Raiders. I still haven't seen that, so I'm still checking. But that is, oh my God, that is crazy. Devontae Adams. Let me see. No. Kolskit. No. 2 days ago. See nothing. Yeah. Packers are trading Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter is saying everything. Packers are trading Devontae Adams to the Raiders for 2 prime picks in this draft. Okay. So they getting that draft capital. Okay. What are the picks, though? That's what I want to see. I guess they didn't release that information. That's huge, man. That is huge. That is huge, man. It just keeps coming. Keeps coming. And then let us not forget, this dude just left Denver, didn't want to leave Denver, goes to LA, gets a ring. And then what do you hear out of LA? Aaron Donald. We going to run it back. Let's do what we got to do to run it back. OBJ's coming, but we going to run it back. Von Miller said, no, thank you. I'm going to Buffalo with Josh Allen, who should have been in the Super Bowl. I ain't mad at him. And they paying him a whole lot of hamburgers. But that contract, the Bills added one of the best pass rushers in NFL history, active career sacks leader, 150. He's got 115.5 sacks. Good Lord, man. Miller could be the missing piece for the Bills defense needs to compete a championship run in what is set up to be an AFC stacked division. You ain't lying. The Bills agreed to terms with Miller, 6 years, $120 million, $51.5 million guaranteed, with a $45 million signing bonus. That's a whole lot of hamburgers right there, bro. Good Lord. Good Lord, man, they are wheeling and dealing. I'm sure there has been stuff like this crazy in the past, but I don't remember an offseason recently that was this all over the place. I don't remember one. This is just crazy. Are we participating in this free agency? Yeah, we are. Howard's talking. Roseman's talking. But you know what? The one thing I'll give Howie credit for is he's not a reactionary dude. He's not a knee-jerk kind of guy. He's got a plan, like somebody said earlier. He's got a plan and he's sticking to it. So I ain't really mad at that. We just can't do a J-Jaw or a Rager or a DK whiff again. We can't do that. So I don't mind you having a plan, but we can't whiff on the obvious. Let me say it like that. So I don't mind Howie kind of sitting back because we got 3 picks in the first round. So we got moves to make and we got the stuff to make those moves. So I'm not mad at it. Why was yeah. Vince, that's a good question, bro. That's a good question. Unless you don't get one of these young receivers, one of these 6'5", 4'3" dudes that's coming out this year, because you got to remember when you get these young receivers, the only thing you got to do is say, okay, listen, I see what you do best. This is what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do, and you can coach them up. You can have a situation because you got to understand the type of quarterback Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers knows what's going on. He sees the whole field. You ever seen that video of Tom Brady where he's with Tampa Bay and he's in gun, so he's looking at reading the defense, and after he snaps the ball, he tells the running back what the defense is so he can make the correct block if he's doing blitz pickup or pass protection or something like that. That's the type of quarterback Aaron Rodgers is. Will he do that? I don't know. He seems to be a little aloof sometimes, so I don't see why he wouldn't. But my point is that Aaron Rodgers is somebody that could take a young receiver and make things happen. When you're dealing with young receivers with a lot of talent, a lot of speed, you say, this is what I need you to do. Do this, exactly this. And you give them like 5 or 6 things to do, and you just pick your spots. You can't throw the whole book at them. That's how you make young players more effective. Look at what Debo did. Look at what Micah Parsons did. They said, I know you can do a lot of things. I need you to do this thing, and I'm going to pick my spots, and you go do it. That's how you get the best out of them. They're not going to know the whole offense right off the bat, not as a rookie. Not going to happen. So, yeah, they paid Rodgers all of that money, and then they took Adams, and Adams was his safety blanket. So it'll be interesting to see if he's on what's that show? The dude from Indianapolis, the punter, Pat McAfee. If he's on his show talking about how happy he is, yeah, Adams was his dude. Can the Packers trade for DK? Oof. I don't know. It's still a lot to be done. Drea says, that's all we do is talk. We need a veteran wide receiver. What's the plan? That is a good point, but the last good I can't. I'm not going to agree with that because our veteran receivers were pretty good. Going back to Alshon. Quez Watkins was pretty good. Ward was pretty good. For whatever reason, we just stopped playing them. And to me, that's a Sirianni issue. I don't understand why it seemed to me that they were gung-ho on proving that Jalen Reagor was not a bust. You know what I mean? They're going to hit up Julio. I hope they do. I hope they hit a disappointing year last year, but I would take them. So we've had good veteran receivers brought in, and we just don't use them. Well, Sirianni didn't use them right. Props to Doug Peterson because he did what he had to do. Travis Fulgham, yep. Chris, you're right. Travis Fulgham was playing good, and we let him go. So that's right. They did put the tag on Adams. That's right. You're right there. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. They did put that tag on him. He was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So he going down to Vegas getting paid. That's crazy. That is crazy. What's Jesse talking about? Jesse Davis. I like DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks. Agree Reagor only started because of his draft status. Ward was a better wide receiver. Absolutely. And I said it before. To me, that is the biggest difference in good coaches and great coaches. When you got coaches, even at this level, when you got coaches that can make the decision, Bill Belichick, Parcells are prime examples. They can look at a guy and say, "You're not getting it done. I got to get somebody else." And they might bring somebody in. And again, I need you to do one thing and one thing well. And if you got somebody that can buy into that, I remember the story. Leonard Fournette, when he got to Tampa Bay, and he was complaining because Bruce Arians wasn't playing him like he was used to being played. And Bruce Arians told him, "I'll let you go, but you got to trust me and believe in what we're trying to do." And he ended up getting the ring for it. Because you can't forget that a lot of these dudes their ego is huge. And if they don't feel like they're getting the shine like they want to get that shine on so they can get their next contract and all of that kind of stuff, they're not going to do it. So you got to convince, when you hear all these coaches talking about the culture and buying into what we're trying to do, there's a lot of substance to that. Because if you're on a team and you don't believe in what the coach is doing, you out there, I'm just trying to get my numbers. I don't give a damn what anybody else is doing. And there are teams and players that are very much like that. I'm trying to get my stats up. I'm trying to reach this bonus. I don't give a damn about the team. I don't care if we go to the playoffs or not. There are players like that. Shoot, there are owners like that. They're owners that the team that they own is an asset. They are not football fans. They're not into it like that. They are into it to make money, period. So, we'll see what happens. But I agree. Rager only started because of the draft status, and the Eagles don't want to admit that they whiffed on him. He's not getting it done. And they got to make that decision next year. And he's not. And I said it before. I'll say it again. I don't believe that Jalen Rager is going to start. I believe there'll be somebody. There'll be a veteran free agent that'll come in and take his spot. I just don't think he's playing up there. I won't say he's not good, because I don't care what anybody says, whether you like a player or not. When you get to your top 1% of your class, you got some skills. But for whatever reason, it is not manifesting with these Philadelphia Eagles. So Rager needs to go. Cash them checks, but just do it somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. It's a lot of going on, man. A lot of going on. Hassan Redich's coming home. Haddon Heights kid. Went to Haddon Heights. Went to Temple. Now, mind you, got to remember, that's when Matt Rule's at Temple. And Temple, I believe, was ranked. I believe Temple was ranked 18th in the country at the time. And that's always interesting to me. Temple has never been what I would consider a good team, or a team that you need to worry about. Much like my hometown, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's had a couple years where we had some really good coaches, and those coaches come in and just take the program and do a 180. And it's like, what do they do? What do those coaches do with those? Why did Brian Kelly and a couple of other ones get to Cincinnati and do what nobody else could do? Is it all recruiting? How did Matt Rule end up at Temple and doing a 180 at Temple and getting Temple national respect? And Temple has not been the same since he left. How does somebody do that? That's when you coach want to write a book, you write a book about that, because if they can put that in the bottle, it won't stop selling. That at any level. If Fletcher Cox comes back June 1st, I think it guarantees we draft Jordan Davis, one of our draft picks. I agree. If that assumes that he's still on the board when it's our turn to pick. I haven't even gotten into mock drafts and all that kind of stuff. But that's assuming he's on the board, and that's assuming that there's not another player that we value more. And also, I believe we are 16, 17, and 19 in the picks. Eagles draft order. That's what I'm looking at. Let me see. We have 3 first-round picks. Eagle, we have the 19th. Yep, we got 3 picks, 16, I believe 16, 17. Yep, we have 15, 16, and 19. 15, 16, and 19. Oh, hold up. Jacob. What you saying, Jacob? Jacob, Devontae Adams gets a new contract worth $141 million over 5 years. Lord have mercy. Devontae Adams and Von Miller need to get together and go bowling. Lord have mercy. That's a woof. That's some cheddar on that taco, man. Good grief. $141 million. Man, they throwing money around like it ain't. Ugh. That's crazy. But that's a good on Carr. Also, that's gonna shore up that wide receiver core from them losing old boy that got arrested for that car accident. So that's a good pickup by the Raiders. Damn good pickup. Devontae got that quarterback money. Facts. It is a ton of stuff going on, man. Ton of stuff going on. They just keep giving out the money. Keep giving out the money. Bisky, Hassan Redich. Let me go back to him real quick. Let me see. Hassan Redich, 27. So he's in his prime. $45 million over 3 years with $30 million guaranteed. Okay, so they gave him $30 million to sign his name. So basically, he has a 3-year, $5 million a year contract. I don't know how they paying him his signing bonus, but that's a pretty good deal. That is a pretty good deal. So Reddick has had 23.5 sacks over the last 2 seasons, which are 5th in the NFL. And I did notice the Eagles haven't had anyone over 12.5 sacks in the season since Connor Barwin in 2014. Huh. How many sacks did Cox have that one year? I thought for sure Fletcher Cox would have had. Maybe he only had 10. I don't know. How many sacks did Fletcher Cox have? 58. Let's see what the stats are. Career sacks. Solos, sacks. Oof. 3.5 sacks. 2020, he had 6.5. 2019, 3.5. 2018, he only had 10.5. 2018, he had 10.5. 2015, he had 9.5. And wow, he's never had over 10.5 sacks in a season. I would have sworn he had a season over where he had 11 to 12 sacks, but that's what I get for thinking. I know he clogs up, especially a D tackle, because usually all of the edge rushers get all the sacks, but still, that's I just thought he had more than that. That's what I get for thinking. That's why they have stats, people. AFC West is the toughest division by far. Yep. AFC, I see the AFC They making some noise, man. It's AFC is tough. They got all of the best quarterbacks right now. They're getting all the best free agents, arguably. So they're going to be tough for the next couple years, barring injuries. Because KC isn't going anywhere. Buffalo's on the come up. Wow, man. That's AFC is tough. Denver, with Russell Wilson down there now, AFC is no joke, man. Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase playoff runs probably secured the bag for a lot of wide receivers. Yep. I don't think Kirk gets that contract if wide receivers don't take over playoff games. I agree. Yeah. For the same thing I said last week about everybody wanting the next Debo or the next Amari Cooper. Yes. The same reason. Everybody's looking at these wide receivers and what they're doing and watch. And you notice this year, and maybe I'm just looking at it with biased eyes, the Cooper Kupps and people like that, they didn't get hit with the long ball too often. Cooper Kupp and OBJ and all those guys, you're talking about 10 yards across the middle. And then when they get the ball in their hands, they make something happen. So you saw what Cooper Kupp did in the Super Bowl. They weren't throwing him bombs, short to mid passes, and he made somebody miss. Long ball's overrated, especially when you got receivers like that. So everybody's, it's a copycat league. Everybody's trying to find the next one. And like when I see stuff like that, that takes me back to, again, all of the criticisms of Jalen Hurts and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't need to throw the ball all the way down the field. Design a game plan where you got somebody coming out of motion and going across the middle and create a mismatch. How many times did Cooper Kupp catch a touchdown coming in motion, and now the guy that's got to guard him is a linebacker? That's a mismatch. That's what motion is for. And sometimes we don't use it the way it should be used. And that's the type of stuff I see when you look at an offense, and it's like, what are we doing? There was times where our offense, our wide receivers did not go in motion during the game. And it's like, what are we doing? Mix it up. Confuse the defense. Do something. But that's what happens when you got a rookie head coach. So, I don't know. What? Pop's talking about San Francisco looking at Kaepernick. That would be interesting to see if that happens. I don't know. Cap is saying he's in shape. I'm sure he is in shape. But, I mean, hey, you see people, they want to hate on Cap all they want. Cap took the 49ers to a Super Bowl. Like, stop playing. He took them to a Super Bowl. He was a decent passer, a great runner. And he did the best with what he had. And they should have won that Super Bowl if the lights hadn't gone out. I think that's when they played. I think they lost to the Ravens, right? So we still do need the threat of a deep ball open up that short game. Yeah, we do. I wouldn't mind. Listen, I would not mind any one of those receivers from Ohio State or the kid from North Dakota State. Those guys were. Let me see if I can bring up my. Probably can't. Let me see. Nope, that's a big fat nope. I forget what the names are. That kid from there's a kid from North Dakota. There's a kid from I can't get it. I'm not gonna worry about it. There's a kid from North Dakota. There's another kid. Heck, I can't even remember the schools. All I know is all of them ran sub 4.4, like 4.38, 4.39s, around there. But all of them were 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'1". If I can get a big receiver with speed, I'm all for that. I'll take that guy from the small school that runs a 4.3, a legit 4.3 at 6'3", at 6'4". I want somebody going up. When you get people like that, you're looking at Randy Moss type stuff. Now, we don't know if he's going to be the same type of receiver like Moss, but I want that height. So I want my receivers going up and dunking on anybody trying to get that ball. Throw the ball up high. Let them go get it. That's what you can do. So Garrett Wilson is gone by 15. I can't tell you you're wrong. We'll see. Man, it's been an hour already? Daggone, we flew through this, man. We was rolling. But listen, I had a good time. I'm about to take it to the locker room. Great week of news and just stuff going on. The NFL is the gift that keeps on giving, man. And I would expect next week it's probably going to be no different. I'm trying to get into the March Madness. I got my bracket. I wanted to talk about the Phillies finally making some noise, picking up a couple good players. But NFL is still ruling the headlines right now. So, but listen, I had a great time tonight. Thank you for everybody that was in the chat tonight. Please, please, please smash that like button. If you know somebody that couldn't make the show, let them know that the show is available in its entirety almost immediately after it airs. When you're dealing with YouTube, the minute I go off, it's available on YouTube to watch in full. And you can still watch a replay of it and smash the like button. The likes still help. So please send it to somebody. We're trying to make this grow. Visit my YouTube, my Facebook fan page, Pro Fan Perspective. It's still growing. A couple weeks ago, I was right at like 150. Now we're like at 320. So we're still growing. I'm trying to get that. I want to get up to like 1K and all of that kind of stuff. So still trying to make it happen, man. Jesse, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. Trying to make it happen. If you know somebody, send them to me. Tell them to tune in. Even if they don't want to watch the show, tell them to put it up on YouTube and go do something else. Go get something to eat. But smash that like button and let us get that view so we can break these algorithms. So, all right, I'm about to head to the locker room. Give me something to eat. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the love. And hope to see you guys next week. And hopefully we'll have more news. It'll keep on coming. All right, you guys have a good night. Appreciate you. Peace.